It's that time of the month again where we talk about everything I've read. Hey everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through the 17 books that I've read in June. Full transparency here, I am filming this video early. There's about a week left in June at the time I'm filming this. But I'm going to be having surgery in a couple days and I don't think I'm going to be up to being on camera. I don't know how much I'm going to be reading. So anything I read after this video, I'm going to count as July. I'm just going to pretend that this is the end of the month because I don't want things to get confusing in my wrap-ups. But yeah, this is technically being filmed a week or so early, but I wanted to pre-record this so I could still get it up for you guys. I think that's all the disclaimers I have to do. Let's jump straight into the books. First up, I read Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney, which I ended up rating 4 stars. This was a super tense and fast-paced thriller that had me feeling so much for so many of the characters. The premise of this is a guy is just having what he thinks is a normal day at home when he gets a knock on the door and he is told by this guy that his son is not actually his and this guy's son was switched at birth with his, and he's basically like, what do you want to do about this situation, because we don't have our own kids. There's so much more to it than that, but obviously I want to give nothing away. This book was so shocking, so emotional, and I would definitely recommend. Then I read Burner by Robert Ford, which I rated 3 stars. This was another thriller slash horror. It was really short. It was like 230 pages. It was on Kindle Unlimited. And the premise of this one is that a wife, well, a newly widowed woman, finds her now deceased husband's burner phone, and the stuff on it is shocking to say the least. I rated it 3 stars because I think this premise has been done a lot better, but it was a quick and disturbing read if that's what you're looking for. I read 4 books by Karen Slaughter. I read books 2 to 5 in her Grant County series. So this series is 6 books long. I now only have 1 left to read, and it's like a crime thriller series, so each book is like a different case, but you're following the same detective, police officer, and coroner, and like a few other characters. So throughout reading these, although they're each their own different cases, you get so connected to the characters. I feel so much. I have so many conflicting feelings about these people, but let's talk ratings. Book 2 is Kiss Cut and I rated it 3 stars. Book 3 is A Faint Cold Fear, which I also rated 3 stars. Book 4 is Indealable, which, you guessed it, I rated it 3 stars. And then my most recent read, actually, we're going a bit out of order here, is Faithless, which was a 3 stars. Overall, again, you guessed it, I would rate this series 3 stars. They're good, they're definitely not her best work, but I really wanted to go back and read her backlist in order, and this series comes before the Will Trent series, which I'm pretty sure she's still writing books in right now, and I feel like the more recent of her books I read, the better they get, so I'm super excited to see what else she has to offer, and I am glad I read these because 3 stars is still a good rating. Then I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark and we had another 3-star read. I had a pretty average month, if you couldn't tell. This is the first book in her Brutal Birthright series. It's like a mafia series, and this one is an arranged marriage, so it's 2 different rival families and the daughter from one and the son from another are forced to marry to like stop war and bring peace between the 2 families, but neither of them want it and they do some absolutely insane things to each other, which were really funny. I gave it 3 stars because I wasn't very invested. It was short, quick, and an easy read, but it wasn't more than that, so I'm not super invested. I will be continuing the series because I have the whole series, but it wasn't anything great. Then I did my reread of Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. What can I say? 5 stars, 6 stars, infinite stars. This book broke my heart and put it back together all in one. I'm sure this book needs no introduction. It is the first book in the Boys of Tommen series. I only read the first 2 when they were indie published, and now there are 6 books in the series, so I'm going back and I'm rereading the first 2 so I can continue with them fresh in my mind. I could genuinely tear up thinking about this book. The couple in this, Johnny and Shannon, have my whole heart. The found family in this have my heart. Gibbsy is my favourite character in the world. I just cannot love this enough, but it is super dark. Super dark. Then I read Hidden Strings by KJ Mist, which I rated 2 stars. Now this was a novella. I got the arc from NetGalley, and I think the reason I rated it 2 stars was not really the fault of the book. It was a children's book, like it read like a children's book. I think maybe if I'd have liked Goosebumps when I was younger, then this would have like the nostalgic feeling of those for me. I've seen a lot of the higher reviews of it saying that. However, I was not a Goosebumps kid, so this just felt really childish, really predictable to me. I didn't enjoy it. It was 160 pages, which is why I didn't DNF it, and also I try not to DNF ARC copies because I want to be able to review them, and I can't do that if I don't finish them. I wish I could say we're moving on to better, but then I read Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen, and I rated this 2 stars too. I am feeling the more I read, the more I realise I don't like fantasy like retellings. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think I don't like them because obviously I know where the plot is going, and when changes are made, I get that feeling like when you watch a movie and you can see all the things that have been changed from the book. Like obviously this is gonna be different because it's not a carbon copy, or that would be plagiarism. It's just like inspired, but I keep like reading it and thinking in my head, well, this is wrong because that's not what actually should be happening right now. I think a lot of people enjoy this book and I can definitely see why, but it's just not for me. Then I read The Silent Woman by Minka Kent. This was another NetGalley arc, and I rated it 3 stars. If you're not new to this channel, you'll probably have heard of the name Minka Kent before. I tend to rate her books 3 stars, and I now know going into them, the plot twist is going to be out of nowhere, probably won't make sense, and will be really unrealistic, and if you go into it knowing that, you're going to have a really good time. This is about a woman who lives in a house with her husband, and her husband's ex-wife lives like in a cottage on their lawn, and she has assisted care because an incident happened where something happened to her and she suffered brain damage and other stuff like that, and she can no longer communicate and stuff, but he doesn't want to put her into a residential facility because he's really rich and he has the means to take care of her there. It's an unusual dynamic, but of course there is so much more to it than that. Yeah. This was good. I did guess some of the plot twists, but some of them shocked me too. Then I buddy read Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister with Ellen. Oh, she's so much fun to buddy read with. I rated this book 3 stars. The premise of this one is that a woman takes her daughter to her first day of nursery, and then she sees the news and finds out that her husband, who she thinks is at work, is involved in a hostage situation. But he is not a hostage. He is the person holding the others hostage. I don't like the writing style. That is why it got 3 stars. I didn't like the writing style. It felt very slow and it took me so long to get into it. The 3 stars was because I did like how it ended and how things wrapped up, but overall I was quite disappointed with this one. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Then I read No Exit by Taylor Adams, which I rated 4 stars. This was so tense and so good. I loved how the direction we took, like I loved the direction we took at the ending. Oh my goodness, it's what made the book for me. This is about a woman who gets stranded at a rest stop in the middle of nowhere because there is a snowstorm. She is there with 4 other strangers, and when she goes out to check on her car, she sees in a van that is parked there, in the back window she can see in, and there is a child locked in a cage. But she has no cell service, she has no signal, she doesn't know how dangerous the people she's with are. She also doesn't know whose van it is, so she doesn't know which person is keeping this girl. This is so good. It is so tense. Read it. Don't read this one though. This is Pen Pal by Dathan Orbach. I rated this 2 stars. I honestly should have DNF'd, but I kept thinking there must be a reason that so many people love this book. And on the back it says like each part gives you a different piece of the puzzle, and by the end you will wish that you could forget what he never knew. So what I was thinking was I need to push through this because it's gonna all make sense in the end. Well, talk about a letdown and a disappointment. This was so boring. The payoff was not worth it at all, and I just want to move on. I want to put it down and not look at it because it honestly makes me angry that I pushed through it. Then we have My Saving Grace, The Return by Rachel Harrison. Finally, another high rating after Binding 13. It has been a good few books. This was 4.5 stars. Rachel Harrison is so good. She is my favourite, one of my favourite horror authors. She writes suspense so well. This is a book about 4 friends. One of them goes missing, and then 2 years to the day that she went missing, she returns. But she is different. Now interpret that however you will. The four of them go on a trip to reconnect and get stuck in the hotel as you start to realise how different she really is. So good, as always. Had such a good time. Then I read The Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I listened to this on audio and I rated this 2 stars. I've come to the realisation I don't think Riley Sager's books are for me. I also feel like the premise of this was quite similar to Pen Pal. It was different in many ways, but I probably should have read them more spread apart. So this is about 2 boys who camp in their backyard one night, and then in the morning one of the boys wakes up and sees a slash in the tent and the other boy is missing. Then we fast forward 30 years into the future. The boy has never been found, and the remaining boy, now a man, is plagued with insomnia because all he feels like is, how the hell could I have slept through that? Now he can never sleep. He moves back to the town where this happened and he thinks he can sense his old friend. The plot twist was so predictable, they were pretty much spoon-fed to me. The twists that we took were, I felt like, cheap outs to plot holes. I can't say much more because, again, spoiler free, but I don't recommend. I don't think this was not for me. Then I read Don't Judge a Girl by Her Cover by Ali Carter. This is the 3rd book in the Gallagher Girls series and I rated this 3 stars. This is always a fun young adult time. I really enjoy the themes of female empowerment and female friendships. This is set in a spy school for girls and young women. It was another installment. It was fun. I liked the friends. That's all it was. And those are the 17 books I read in June. I might read a couple more towards the end of the month, but like I said, I'm gonna count them as July so that I can still review them in a wrap up for you guys. What was your favourite read of June? And if you read anything that I've read this month, please let me know what you thought about them. I love talking all things bookish down in the comments below. If you'd like to see more from me, please be sure to like and subscribe as I post new videos every single week. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you in another video. Bye!